Hi guys, the Boring Engineer here, back with another lockpicking video. Today I've got what I think is one of the coolest locks, not because it's particularly difficult to pick or anything like that, but because of what it allows. So this is a Corbin Russwin master ring, and it is the kind of grandfather of the now ubiquitous SFIC lock that you see everywhere in commercial settings. Now, it looks very similar to your typical key and knob, but it has one very, very big difference, and that's this thick ring around it. It's called the master ring, and that's because exactly that describes what it is. It's a ring that has two shear lines, so there's an upper and a lower shear line, and this allows a really, really great capacity for mastering. So using up all of the theoretical key space, you could have one grand master key that opens every lock. You could then have 25 grand master keys under that grand master key, and then you could have 625 master keys under those grand master keys, under that grand master key, and then you could have 373 individual keys underneath each of those master keys, all with individual unique bitting. If you're willing to run the risk of having one of those operator keys work in any of the other 625 master systems for one lock, so only one lock in all the other 625s would be duplicated, you could have up to 233,280 operating keys under each of the 625 masters, under the 25 grandmasters, under the one grandmaster, with this little lock. Very cool system. Anyway, let's pull this apart. As you saw, it wasn't a big pick. This is an older lock. I don't think there's any security in it or anything like that. You see someone's been into it though at some point. But let's pull it apart here. I actually haven't been into this lock yet, but I think it's a really cool one. So let's just take a look. Alright. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go, but I think this should work out. Alright, so in the core we have, if I pick this well, I have the operating key, the bottom operating key of this stack. So we shouldn't have any master wafers or anything like that, which we don't, which is good. Six pin, obviously. So here's where this could get a little exciting, as there may be master wafers in the upper stacks. And in fact, there should be master wafers in the upper stack. Alright, so nothing in one, but it is a spool. No masters, though. And two, also a spool. Light spooling, though. It didn't really feel too much counter rotation. I kind of thought it was mostly down to that ring. Spool again in 3. Spool in 4. And upside down spool in 5. And a spool again in 6. Well, that's, sorry to say, that's a little disappointing, guys. I was was really hoping that there'd be some mastering in this. But it is interesting. There are security pins, and you can see how long those pins are, which is also kind of interesting. Oh, I'm missing one spring. Come out. Don't want to. There it is. Don't want to mess those up. So now you can see the master ring. So then the master ring is the equivalent thickness to a 0 bit or 0 cut bit, and that's the whole system there. I mean, it's very simple, but like I said, I mean, it allows a really large variety of bittings. So back in the early industrial age and all the way through probably the 80s or so, these were the commercial lock for large scale, hospitals, schools, factories. You'd see these everywhere. In Detroit, they were filled with these things. So it's a very cool lock. I think it's something, people have lockpicking videos on these locks, but I feel like they don't really ever explain the history of why did this exist and why was it so neat. So that was neat, and now it's replaced by its smaller, much younger great grandkid, the SFIC, which we'll get into in another video. I'm not that great at picking these yet, so yeah, that's all I have for today. If you guys have any questions on the master ring, please let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to talk about them. They're, like I said, one of my favorite locks. So very cool, and thanks for watching.